everyone, welcome to Tianjin University Ambassador Talks. My name is Timothy Joseph Tagal. I'm an admission promotion ambassador of Tianjin University, and today we are going to discuss about the major of architecture. And previously, we have talked with a master student, with an architect, and with a penultimate year of architecture student. And we are going to discuss again with our fellow Tianjin University ambassador. So here we are, we have so many of them. Please welcome Melissa, Tianxin, and Wenjie. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, so we have so many of you. I think we're going to discuss everything. And before we start, of course, we want to know each other. So would you guys briefly introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Melissa, a Malaysian student, architecture student, currently studying in the 4th year of undergraduate architecture in Tianjin University. And I'm also one of the 2022 student ambassador of Tianjin University. And thank you, Timothy, for inviting us today.
Of course, so you're 4th year now?
Yeah, I'm 4th year.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go to Tianxin.
Hello, I'm Tianxin. I'm currently year 3 in bachelor in architecture major in Tianjin University. I'm also a Malaysian too. Yeah, I'm very glad to take part in this talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's very good. And Wenjie?
Hi everyone, I'm Wenjie, also a Malaysian architecture student and currently study my year 2 in Tianjin University. Yeah.
Okay, so year 4, year 3, and year 2. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm so excited to ask and discuss with you guys about this major. So since you are all from the same country, I think maybe some of you have different stories. Like, how do you know about Tianjin University at first?
So I'll start first. It was rather lucky for me to learn about Tianjin University as I know it from an education fair. So when I graduated from my high school in 2017, and at that time, my high school doesn't have any cooperation with Tianjin University. So I graduated and I went to an education fair. So randomly, I learned about Tianjin University, and at that time, I actually decided to study architecture. So when I knew that Tianjin University was one of the best schools in China for the architecture school, and I chose to apply. And that encounter was basically why I'm here today. And as the first student to further my studies in Tianjin University from my high school, I'm also glad that in the recent years, Tianjin University has achieved some cooperation with my high school.
Yeah, of course. It's very good start for you to know about Tianjin University. And you said that the rankings of Tianjin University actually this year, Tianjin University actually 37th in architecture in the world. So yeah, great choice. And what about Tianjin?
Okay, I know Tianjin University from an education institution at first. And then through this education institution, I also study the foundation in the Tianjin University. Yeah, for about 4 months, and then eventually study bachelor on the next year.
Oh,
yeah.
So in your foundation, you study like basics of Chinese language in your...
Yeah. Also, one of the subject about Chinese is one of the subject lah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's great. What about Wenjie?
My high school has an office for the further study and international affairs. And I learned about the Tianjin University from the school's announcement. After learning about the strength of Tianjin University in architecture, so then I went to contact the relevant teachers and seniors for more information about the university. So that's how I learned. That's how I know the Tianjin University at first. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's very nice because I see that many Malaysians have like very good information access, right, to a broad university. And compared to other countries, when I ask them, it's actually very different. Some of them said that okay, they search online, they have like friends studying there. So I think you have a good access at first. And the next is that you're now in the same major, and I'm curious what brings you attracted to this major of architecture.
As I mentioned earlier, I actually decided to study architecture right way before I decided to go to Tianjin University. So what got my interest is that when I was young, I actually went to the 2010 Shanghai World Expo. I'm not sure if all of you have heard of that. But then when I go there, I realized that it's quite interesting to design something like all those pavilions right there. And at that time, I actually don't quite know that I'm interested in architecture or engineering. But apparently, after I I know more about the flow, and I know more about what they actually learn, what they actually act as engineer and architect. And then I decided that maybe architecture is what suits me. So that's why I chose architecture.
Oh yeah, because from here we know that you make good consideration, right? Because there's a fine line between you decided to arts or engineering, and then you can combine both now in architecture, right? Okay,
Yes.
so what about Tianjin?
Mm, I decided to study in the major of the architecture because firstly, I'm interested in drawing and painting, and then I think the 3D design is interesting. Yeah, for me, and I think the personal characteristic that I have to on this major, I think is I have a habit is I like everything arranged in orderly. So I think this
Yeah.
subject is more suit for me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good background. Many people I ask about architecture, they, mainly interest in drawing first, like they want to sketch
Yeah.
something, and then, okay, they discover something new, the 3D engineering and anything else. Okay, so what about Wenjie?
I'm interested in the Pastoral School of Architecture concepts, which advocates the concept of the integration of architecture and nature. So I've always believed that the nature is the most beautiful scenery, and architecture should be complement to the nature. And with the improvement of people's living standards, people's aesthetic needs and the people's needs and the level of living space also increase accordingly. So in the future, people will pay more and more attention to their own living space. So as a practical work of art, the demand of architecture will be greatly increased in the future. So that's why I choose to study in the major of architecture.
I see. That's a very solid foundation of you. Like a very, like very strong academic view, like living space and how you integrate architecture with nature. It's actually very good, right? And yeah, so I'm curious that since you guys already know about Tianjin University from the start, so what is your view, like the first impression you have about Tianjin University?
My first impression is that it has a great motto, a great slogan, where in Chinese we say it's 实事求是, and in English it can be translated into seeking truth from facts. So this is actually what Tianjin University they insisted from the start, where they think that everything should be coming from facts. So this shows that their thoughts of how academic things could go around, and I think it's quite interesting to know about that. And also when I'm introduced to the Tianjin University, I'm shown the video of our school, and the environment is very good. I mean, it's one of the attractions for most of the students actually.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing that interested with the integrity of how the university stands its values, and you have studied offline before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we will discuss about that because maybe some of our friends here are not studying offline. Okay, so what about Tianjin?
Despite of the Tianjin University is the the one of the top university in China. I think the first impression that the Tianjin University have in my mind is when the event international cultural day in Tianjin University, I have watched a show. It's called 24 Festive Drums. Yeah. So I really enjoy the show because I think it is impressive and unforgettable for me because in our country we have also this 24 festive drum in our country in some of our high school. So when I really felt intimacy and enjoying in the show, and this is the first impression when I study the foundation in Tianjin University. Then I have this I felt very like
it's very attractive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing because Tianjin University, they have a rich culture of students. Like international students come from various countries, like from Asia, Africa, and if you see their cultural day, it's like, you can interact with them and you know more than the university itself. You know more who studied there, and like rich life experience, right? Okay, so what about Wenjie?
I think it's very historical, and the university has a very nice environment and it's friendly. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, of course. Tianjin University is like the oldest university, and yeah, it could stands until now. It's a big achievement, and yeah, we can know the qualities of Tianjin University. And let's go to the study experience. So, which of you here has studied offline before? Melissa?
Yeah.
Tianjin?
Me too.
Yeah. Wenjie?
Oh, not me.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite ironic because, well, architecture is like the world of practical thing. But okay, let me ask Melissa first. Like, compare right now. Let's discuss about your offline first. How do you feel when you study there directly?
So firstly, there are very excellent facilities like the library. There's the new library in the new campus, and there's the stadium, and maybe for our architecture school, we have our own classrooms, and we have some workshops where we can do our models. So it's quite interesting to have all these facilities. I mean, these facilities can actually enhance your studying quality in our design projects.
Yeah, of course. And Melissa, when you switch to online, okay, what do you feel changed so much in your learning experience?
Okay, so first of all, we couldn't use all those facilities. Like I said, we couldn't use the workshops. Actually, workshops, we normally go there, then we can do some discussions with our teammates, with our professors, with our mentors. And then, but without this offline studying, we could only do all this online. So we actually couldn't do any handcraft models. We could only improve and develop our design through our computers, through computer softwares. So, I mean, this actually changes what actually we used to do. So we used to do our handcraft models, but now we can only do it online. So it actually affects how we think in architecture, but it's also a new start. I mean, in the future, I believe that there will be more and more chances for us to do the computer-assisted modeling and software.
Yeah, of course, it's a challenge to adapt to that because you get so many practical experience before, and then you just stuck in front of your computer and try to do design 3D. But yeah, that's okay. That's the reality of it. And what about Tianjin? I think you can maybe explain your experience when you study offline, and then how do you feel in your online study?
I think the online study also have some pros and cons.
Yeah.
Then I think the most issue is the unstable of the internet connection. This is the basic on the online, basic needs on the online, but we also lack of connection between teachers or the student on the classroom.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because online, you have to adjust your own capabilities, and I'm sure that the lecturer understands you, right? That okay, this have internet problems and online study conditions. And what about ONJ? Okay, you are studying online. In particular, you might feeling that okay, you have to accept this reality. So how do you experience studying online?
I think it's a bit hard because some courses in architecture, they rely more on offline teaching, such as the art courses and the architecture history courses and landscape architecture and others are. And so in this course, the offline teaching and experience is the physical demonstration process of the course's theory, and the students can use this experience to confirm and make sure that they really have mastered the classroom knowledge. So I think it's
Yeah, it's a bit irony because, you did learn theory, but you want to learn practically, right? I mean, you see the website, they interact with the professors, building something from scratch with their hands. And that's what we want, right? Study architecture. And I think let's go to your courses studies. So, Melissa, right now in your 4th year, what do you think your courses studies experience?
So overall, the teachers and lecturers are actually very experienced. They have all gone through this age, so they actually know what we lack of, what we don't know while we are studying. So overall, the learning quality is very good, and the teaching quality is very good. And throughout my 4 years, my most unforgettable experience was during offline, of course. So I'd like to share about it today. So it's actually that our project is to build an one-to-one pavilion. So this is our first time to build such big model. And I'm not sure if those who actually been to Tianjin University or have gone through the website have seen this period of time before. We have a period of time where we built these pavilions, and it's quite interesting as we besides of designing, besides of discussing with our teammates, we actually get the chance to know how to work on hands, and we will have to learn to go buy the materials by ourselves. And in my project, we actually chose to do some welding, so we actually learned how to weld by ourselves. And it's quite rare for architecture students to do things like this. And so, I would say that the experience until now is very good, and I'm looking forward to going back soon.
Yeah, I hope as well, because you said that many experience, of course, offline. I mean, you can do and learn many things you had never imagined before. And I think the courses they try to keep it professional, right? They want to keep the learning process smoothly. And what about Tianjin, your experience in course studies?
I would like to share about my offline class experience first. I think I very enjoy in the painting class. yeah, offline painting class. And about the online, I think I have missed some opportunity to group with other students, like the student in the class or the other student, because this is very difficult to do this, to group the homework, like some some homework, yeah, because online is very difficult to adjust about the, yeah, it is difficult. So I think I have missed this opportunity, yeah, on the online class.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have studied offline and you have, experienced the experience you have on the offline studies, and offline switch to online, you have to adjust and adapt, and yeah, you feel the difficulties, right, when you study online. And what about Wenjie?
It's tired. Yeah, it's very tired because maybe my time management are not that good. So when I have to submit the drawings and the models for my design class, so I have to stay up late or even have not sleep at all day until the sunrise the next day. But the process is actually very enjoyable, especially when the final result comes out. I will feel that everything is rosy. And in addition, when the epidemic is not so serious, according to the requirements of the process, I will also go to do some city inspections, which is actually a very special and interesting and fun experience. Yeah, so overall, it's quite nice experience.
Okay, I hear city inspection. So what about that? Is that internship or like a task to do? What about that?
Let me think what's that. Have to take some photo and maybe to ask actually it's a very historical street in my country. So I have to take photo and think that why these streets are still, they are too old, yeah, and have no other tourists and no people will come in this historical street anymore. So we have to find out why and how to help this street to become better. Yeah, this kind of thing.
Okay, that's very exciting because, well, many historical landscape like you say a street or maybe a specific site or a village. I mean, if you have done that, I mean, it's a good practical experience, and yeah, it's a good experience for you. What is your favorite course so far in your studies, Melissa first?
I enjoy the design studio actually. The design studio is actually a combination of everything you learn. So like all the arts, the physics, the mathematics, you actually all combine in the design studio. So I enjoy the way of how they work. I get to combine my knowledge and express it.
Yeah, of course. That's maybe the most enjoyable because you need experience, like you bored of learning all the theory. Yeah, I think it's good for you. And what about Wenjie?
Actually, I'm same with Melissa. I also choose the design courses. It's very enjoyable. Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, of course, because because you have turned into online, did you guys learn with softwares now, the digital design?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because, well, like learning digitally is important for you. I mean, you can like develop as professional as you would because it could help you a lot. Yeah, even though right now that you are heavily relied on that, but it's a good thing that you experience. Okay, let's go back in track. So, how do you feel about the lecture performance in the class?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, they are responsible and experienced. So, and most of the lecturers or maybe mentors, they are very considerate in our situation, And many of them know that despite of those who are fluent in Chinese, some students are actually maybe they are still in the progress of learning Chinese. So they are willing to explain some rather difficult terms to them in English. So sometimes our courses will turn into like half bilingual. So I think it's very good for all students.
Yeah, it's very understanding. Professors should understand that, because I have talked with some international students. I mean, they only have like chances of maybe 1 year of learning Chinese before they studies, and then professor have to understand that. It's a good thing because lecturer should make sure everyone can understand. And what about Tianjin?
I agree to that you have said, and Melissa. Yeah, some of the teachers are really good in caring about the learning situation of the overseas student.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very good. And what about Wenjie?
Yeah, very patient. Because not all the international students can speak Chinese in a very smooth way. So maybe sometimes the other international students they can't understand what teacher are talking about. So the teacher are actually very patient about this. They will explain a lot of this. They will explain every words they speak. So to make sure the students know what they are talking about. So I think the lecturers are very patient. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good because right now you're studying online. It's getting harder to do that. I mean, like online with some problems. Yeah, I think your lecture is very good. And since we have discussed like you have like say anything of your complaint about drawbacks of online studies. So let's go to task and exams. So how is the task and exams given by your lecturer?
I would like to emphasize on the design studio, as this is the main thing we have to learn in architecture undergraduate program. So our projects are distributed by 2 projects per semester, and each project will normally take about 8 weeks. And for my situation, in the senior years, maybe the projects will take longer time. So maybe 16 weeks per project. So it takes like 4 months. And in this project, you have to do all the basics, do all the research from the start, and till the end, you have to do a presentation on a board. So this is the evaluation for the design studio. And for the other courses, maybe the exams are not that hard, I would say, because we will learn some engineering, maybe physics knowledge, but the knowledge they require us to handle, to master, is not that deep until like engineering students. So we have to know the basics, we have to know the theory, we have to know the principles, but maybe the calculation is not that important for us.
I see. So the design studio, is it group project with your friends?
It depends on every semester how the teacher requires us to do that.
Yeah, that's why it's very fun. I mean, you have to build from scratch. You work either with friends or with yourself. You research and you present it. It's like a final design project. So because engineering, we haven't experienced something like that. And what about Tianjin?
In my opinion, I think it is difficult to compare with the local student, but I think as overseas students, we can and we have also to put more effort to promote ourselves on the task to complete the task given by the teacher. We can put more effort.
Oh, yeah, of course. And what about Wenjie?
The architecture are actually, in my opinion, there are not that much of assignments, but every assignment takes a long time to complete. Yeah. And I'm still a year 2 student, so I didn't have a lot of exams, so it's quite different with other courses. Yeah, the architecture student didn't have that much of exams. So, but it doesn't mean that we have no exam. We also have exam also, but the exam is actually the assignments we do in the everyday we do. The assignment is our exam. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I mean, if you're two, I mean, I don't really be familiar, but yeah, I think you can enjoy your early years. You study more theory, you learn designs. I think it will be useful for you too. And this is one of my other additional question because, you know, architecture have many sectors. Can go to interior design, can go to landscape, sustainable, and many things. So each of you, do you have any ambition in your mind? What specific sector you want to work on?
Currently, I'm still into being an architect, so maybe not going to going any other ways.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's good. Okay. What about Tianjin?
I would like to involve in the estate field like architecture, include architecture and also interior design, maybe this field
Yeah.
of the job. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good because interior design is getting much more popular, especially the minimalist type, right? So everyone like loves that. And what about Wenjie?
Maybe I will choose to become an architect or interior designer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, like you know, maybe you guys as undergraduate, you will discover more opportunities, and you know, sector of architecture is like so much. But as a spoiler, maybe when you are going to real world, I think it will be much better if we can focus on one sector so that we like can, you know, prepare from now like as professional as we will, because like architecture has a very big competitions. And like, you know, I asked other of my friends, and yeah, you are in a very good stage where you can discover more opportunities. Okay, so next one is like in this architecture field, what is the job prospect from this major?
It's actually quite wide. Because in undergraduate for architecture program, we actually do the general knowledge of everything. Like in our design studios, we have to learn to do the research in the first few weeks, and maybe the modeling in the middle part, and in the end part, we have to do some renderings. We have to do some board designs. We have to use some softwares. So throughout the whole projects and all the education, we actually learn a lot of techniques and a lot of knowledge, which while we work, we can actually specialize in any one of it. So like we can become an architect, we can become a 3D modeler, maybe we can become an artist, and also work in some visualization company or maybe some gaming companies. So it's quite wide.
Okay, yeah, I got the picture because, well, all I know about architect is that you work with the client and then you design something, you work with engineers, construction engineers and others. Okay, so what about Tianjin?
I think it's same with Melissa. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, what about Wenjie?
Yeah, it's very quite wide. And besides what Melissa said, we also can develop in the direction of real estate. If you want that, we almost can become everything we want because we learn actually really a lot.
Yeah, of course, because well, architecture, the main thing that, you know, what industry or sector you want to choose to, I mean, in the end, you have to work with people, like discuss with them, and you know, many conflicts of opinions, like the clients wants something like this, and then you as an architect, oh, cannot, we have the base like this. Okay, you will face that in the workplace. And yeah, many sectors that you can achieve to. You want to go to many sectors. I think from now on, undergraduates, you can, like explore many things. And as the last question, I think this is for the prospective students. Like they have get so many things from these talks that we have about your experience from studying architecture. So I would like to you guys to give encouragement and motivation to prospective students as they are studying architecture in Tianjin University.
So first, many students maybe will face problem while choosing a major. So I would like to say that interest is always the first thing. So learn about yourself and learn what are you interested in. And if you have chosen architecture, and go do some research, maybe learn how the certain architecture school, what they target to teach its students. Because some architecture schools, they focus on more artistic knowledge, and while Tianjin University, we are more practical. So it's one thing we have to keep in mind while choosing a school. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's very good. And from Tianjin.
I think just go for it and love what you have choose. Yeah.
Yes, it's very nice. What about Punje?
If you decided to choose and study architecture, just go for it and try everything you want to try. And once you decided to study architecture, you better do more practice before you officially study architecture. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. And thank you so much, everyone, Malaysia, Tianjin, and Wenjie. It's been very inspiring and open minds for prospective students that might wondering how is it to study architecture. And I think by these talks we complete like almost everything in architecture. I mean, we have talked with architect, we have talked with master student, we have talked with bachelor student. I think, yeah, if we can find doctoral student, it can be good as well. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Your experience is very valuable for us to understand what is it like really studying architecture. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And everyone, architecture in Tianjin University has reached the ranking of 37th in the world and the third best in China, with an international accreditation from the International Union of Architects and the national accreditation for the professional education architecture. And you don't have to worry when you graduate from Tianjin University, because China is one of the members of Canberra Accord, which means Tianjin University has prepared you very well as you will become architect in the future. So you can see in the website below in the link in the description, how is it like to study in architecture, and also the related majors as well. And from the experience that you can see in the description below of various students, they have a very good experience that they have encountered from Tianjin University. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your explanations. And thank you so much. Okay, have a good day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.